What's up, everybody? It's Professor Gnome, and today we're going to be looking at something pretty fun. We're going to be looking at Grapploct. I think that's how it's pronounced. Grapploct is, I think, how it's supposed to be said. I like this card a lot, and by card, I mostly mean the Pokemon. The card's okay. What we're going to be looking to do is use the slow-acting Cyclone attack for 30 damage, which is pretty bad. But what is pretty good about it is the fact that even though we're only hitting for 30 damage, at the end of your opponent's next turn, the defending Pokemon will be knocked out. So it's super powerful if we can get our opponent to stay in the active. So the question is, how are we going to do that? The best way that that I have found and other people have found is to pair it up with Spidops EX. And similar to locking things into the active with Wugtrio like we did before, we're going to be doing that again, and thanks to the trap territory ability that allows us to increase our opponent's retreat cost by 1, we're going to have a better time trapping things into the active. Actually, ironically, things like Charizard, because they don't play many switch cards, actually get affected by this pretty well. And also, we are going to be running 2 copies of the Wasteland, since it does that same effect where it just adds 1 more. So we're adding 2 retreat costs onto everything, and it works out pretty well. Some builds are running Grass Energy and able to attack with Spidops as well. I personally don't, just because I found that the energies never really come up. And if I'm at a point where I have to attack with Spidops in any matchup that isn't Charizard, then I'm just losing anyway. So it's not really worth it. We want to make sure, though, that we are running the reversal energy, and the reason for this is because what does come up is Crisis Punch, and this card is super clutch. When our opponent has 1 prize card remaining, which they will because they're only knocking out our Grapplocks, then we're able to actually, with 3 energy, hit for 280. So we can slap down a reversal energy and kind of make a huge comeback right at the end of the game, a good amount of the time. As for anything else that we're running, things are pretty simple. We want to be able to dictate what's in the active. So we have Counter Catcher, since we're probably going to lose something pretty early. We got double copies of Boss. Make sure, again, we're picking our targets. And then it's really just about disrupting our opponent's hand as much as possible. So we want to be able to Iono very frequently, reshuffle our opponent's hand, mess with them that way, and also use Roxanne later on. Just drop them down as many cards as possible, kind of limit their options, and get those locks off. We're also running Evolution because we do need a kind of large amount of pieces. We're going to want Bibarel set up so that way we can, get that going for ourselves. We're going to be able to look for our pieces, so we want Skwovet. But we need Spidops as well as Bibarel to really get ourselves going, or even using Grapploct, we need to evolve that. So we have a lot of pieces, so Evolution is pretty good for us. Outside of that, everything's pretty simple. Obviously, we want our Arven to be able to get not only our tools, but also, be able to get into the rest of our item cards. So that's the list. Definitely let me know any changes that you guys would make. I've seen some variations. I could understand for sure running grass energies as well, with the prevalence of Charizard, but I feel like most of the time it's not really worth it. But definitely let me know what you guys think of the list down below. Any changes that you would make yourselves, and along with any other list that you'd want to see. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that kind of stuff, and I'll see you guys in the games in a second. Peace. Alright, we're into the game. Our opponent's going to be going first. I kind of like going second with this deck rather than first, just so that way we're able to get evolution off and things like that. Since it's pretty important to be able to do, especially for a deck like this, where we need everything set up like very, very quickly, or things don't really go our way. Okay, Regieleki V, that's pretty cool. That's less cool. We'll see what they choose to do with it. Makes sense if they go like VIP Pass or describe themselves as Miraidon, which is, the same thing as a VIP Pass for this deck. Yeah, there's Miraidon. Probably grab like another Regieleki and a Raikou. That would make sense to me. Oh, another Miraidon, and then they can use the second Miraidon to get, like, Raikou and... What else would they even want? Zorora, I guess. Okay. Another free retreater. Won't be so free once we get our board set up, though. Haha. Double energy onto Raikou. We'll be able to get the... what was I saying? We'll be able to get the first attack off, and so we'll be able to use evolution. So what we might do, depending on our turn, like how things look. Oh, wonderful. Alright, so that made things a lot easier for the decision-making process. So we'll hold on to the Wasteland for now, because it doesn't really matter, and what we're hoping is that they place like a beach court down or a path or whatever it is they want to play, and then we go from there and just disrupt that. So we'll grab this, we'll grab this. So those are down, those are in play. We can go ahead, attach the energy, set ourselves up, go for the evolution, evolve this and this. So bop and beep. Hit them with a little boop. And so now that those are set up, it doesn't really matter. They can come in, knock us out. Who really cares? If they choose not to for whatever reason, then we evolve onto the active. If not, they knock this out. We go into our next one, drop the energy down, drop the Wasteland, hit them with the evolution. Then we can nest away the Raihan, since it's not going to be super relevant. Oh, well, wait. Are we going to want to use the Raihan already? I kind of think not really. Yeah, never mind. I changed my mind. I don't think we want a Raihan. Or I guess I didn't change my mind. I didn't really want to do it from the start, but whatever. Boss's orders is interesting. So we'll place that down. Drop that down. Grab that. So here's the thing. Unless they already have a switch card in hand, bossing up a Miraidon here makes so much sense. Because they'll be trapped for 3 energy, and the chances of them being able to put that on are super low. So I think that's what I want to do. So yeah, I think that's going to be our play. Most of the time, they don't run like retreat cards, or if they do, it's just like a very minimal amount, so we should be fine here, since they'll most of the time they only run like maybe 1 switch cart, or because like they mostly run like beach court, maybe 1 switch, and they just rely on like energies and free retreaters to get around. So I don't think they're gonna be able to get out of this. Or, not that they can't, but the chances are relatively low. There's beach court, but that's still fine by us. Wait, what the hell? Why did that work? Oh, they only need it 1 because that makes it 0, and then... Damn it! They had beach court. I did the math wrong. I mean, I didn't really do the math wrong. It was just unlucky that they had beach court. But it's fine. We can do it again. Put them in the same situation. Welcome back. Drop that down. Now all we have to do is get a new Wasteland. Or stop them from having an energy in hand, which is also probable. We'll place that down. We'll get rid of this because we'll never really need that anymore. And we'll get rid of this because I want to be able to grab my Crisis Punch on the next turn. Then what we'll do is we'll grab a Grapploct to hand so that way I can make a new one after this one inevitably gets knocked out probably. Alright. We'll throw Artazon down because that's the same thing. It's just about removing the fact that he gets benefits. Alright. Bam. Try it again. If he has Beach Court and an energy in hand again, I'm going to lose my mind. Or if he has like a switch card or something, then at that point I just cry. Alright. Oh, come on. He's going to be able to Arven here for the switch. God damn it. Every time. They just always have like exactly what they need. It's so tragic. He can switch. Go back into Raikou. It's not that bad though. Because we have the things we need. We can do this. It's all part of the master plan. What we're going to look to do is we're going to knock out this and this. Right? Alright, so Spidops here. Pretty huge. Grab that. We'll hold on to the Arven. Then what we can do is we'll boss back up this. Actually, we'll leave the one that's damaged because that might come in clutch later. We'll put this Miraidon down. Then what we can do is we'll Nest Search. Shuffle those Arvens back in. Industrial Incisors. There's one energy that we were looking for. Perfect. And now we should have one more in the deck? No. Okay, so we really need to not get knocked out here. Go! Have the plan and act! Please don't have an Arven or something. Come on! Why? Oh, okay. He doesn't have any other switches. Alright, we got one, boys. We're going to take down this Miraidon. Hold on, the plan's coming together. Is our Super Rod in deck? I think so, right? I'm pretty positive. Alright, it's all coming together. Hold on. One, two. Alright, neither of those are really what we wanted. Zero Aura. Alright, Fighting Energy. That's okay. We don't need any of those, actually. So, alright, so that's good, though. So, really what we're looking for is none of this at the moment. And Avery won't help us because we're just looking to Super Rod. That's like the #1 thing that we need right now. Alright, Wasteland, also pretty hype. Crisis Punch, pretty good. But what we really need is that Ultra Ball. So we're going to Suction Cup or Slow Action Cyclone. If we can get the knockout here, then we're in a really good position again. Because then what we're really looking for is just to do... Alright, Iono's fine. Obviously, we lose our Crisis Punch, and that kind of sucks, but that's not the biggest deal, because we need Reversal Energy and a new Grapploct to make that happen anyway. We have Arven, that'll find ourselves the Super Rod. Oh, that thing had the ability to knock us out, right. Doesn't matter, we'll knock that out back anyway. What do we want to do here? We sacrifice this. Alright. That's good, that's good, that's good. Pal Pad's huge. So we're going to Arven here for the Super Rod and the Crisis Punch. Hold on, it's all coming together, boys. Hold on. So we can Super Rod back in. Double that. Right? Then what we can do is we Level Ball here. Grab one. We Level Ball again. Grab the other. Right? Place that down. Then what we do is we Pal Pad. Back in Double Boss. Then we Earthen Vessel. Get rid of this. For double energy? Yeah, for now double energy. Because we want to thin our deck out. Then what we do is we Industrial Incisors. Then what we can do from here is Ultra Ball away this and that energy. Guarantee ourselves Grap on the next turn. And then we pass. So what we're looking for on our next turn is we evolve into Grap, place down Crisis Punch, but barrel for a... Yeah, for our Reversal Energy. And for a... for a boss's orders that we shuffle back into the deck. And if we get that, then we win. If we don't, then... If we just get the boss's orders alone, then we gotta make a different play. Damn. Alright, so we'll place this down because we need as many cards as possible to be able to draw. Damn. What do we do here? Do we boss? No, because then we can't Crisis Punch anyway. How... Is there a way to win this? I don't think so. I think we boss up this Miraidon. I guess we shouldn't have attached the Crisis Punch until we knew. Alright, hold on. There's a potential that we can do this. If this gets trapped and gets knocked out, then what we have to do is find a second boss to pull in the Bibarel, and that'll be our last prize card. I think that's going to be the play. The Crisis Punch play didn't really work out, and that's really sad. Don't love that. Yeah, there's no shot you just get to retreat. Oh my god, they conceded. That's amazing. Oh, thank god. Okay. That was so close. I think that we had a path to victory there, but I also think they definitely could have won that. That kind of came down to how cards kind of shucked out. The change I would have made there is not playing the Crisis Punch. Like, I should have held that in hand, so it was still available, even if I didn't draw into anything. I think that would have been the play to make, but like, had I drawn boss, then I win anyway. So I don't know. That one was super close. Don't love my play in that game, but I think it worked out very close. Very exciting. So yeah, that's game 1. We'll get into game 2 in a moment. All right, I'll see you guys there. All right, we're into game 2. Our opponent's going first. We have much less of a cool hand, to put it simply, but our opponent did mulligan. It looks like they're playing Lugia. So the triple mulligan is going to help our hand out a good deal. That's pretty cool. They do open up Lugia, though, so that's good for them. This card art's so sick. Shout out to Pokemon Coliseum. Great Pokemon game. Or, sorry, XD was the Dark Lugia. Great Pokemon game. Would love to do a playthrough of that in the future on the channel. To kind of, like, I've kind of considered and, like, talked about it a little bit of, like, doing other Pokemon content on the channel alongside the TCG. I know that, like, everybody watching is here for just pure Pokemon TCG content, and that's absolutely fair, and obviously I am as well, as that is the main thing that I do, and technically on the channel the only thing I do. Alright, Crisis Punch is not in the deck. We got to keep that in mind. But alongside that, I really love just the, you know, the Pokemon franchise as a whole, the video games, the, you know, obviously the card game, and even just, like, from the anime and all that kind of stuff. Like, I just enjoy the Pokemon medium as a whole. And so it's definitely something I would love to do on the channel in the future. I'm an idiot. I just realized, because I was talking about stuff, that I don't have an energy in my hand to actually utilize this. We're gonna play Wasteland down and end my turn because I'm really dumb. I was kind of just talking about nothing, so then I made a mistake. What I should have done in this situation, I thought I kind of zoned out that I didn't already have an energy, so I went for the super greedy play of, like, the double VIP. What I should have done is grab myself Earthen Vessel and then I would have been in a much better position. We'll get rid of this, and we'll get rid of this for now. I could get rid of the other Tarountula ball string thing, but the chance that it just gets knocked out here is super high, so I don't want to allow that to happen. Yeah, just like that. So that's going to go away, but not a big deal. We'll place this down. We'll evolve here. We can Iono, and I honestly think that might be the better play to make. So we'll throw this down, Iono, reset the hands, evolve. We'll get rid of this and this at this point. Grab ourselves the Spidops. And now hopefully get myself an energy. No. Alright, pretty unlucky. We'll level ball here, grab myself a new one because I'm going to need it for the next turn because I'm about to get knocked out. Place that down. And pass the turn. Not really that big of a deal. We kind of expect to go behind anyway. We have the Klara, so you know, we can always get these things back. Kind of sucks that we're going to lose the Wasteland. Would obviously be nice, but can't always get what you want. We will force out 2 double colorless energies from them, though, when they go to retreat. So that's at least good. And that'll kind of work out for us. So we can go ahead and evolve here. What we'll do is that we'll discard this and the VIP because we can Klara and grab them back. But really what we're looking for is just to get ourselves in a situation where we can draw more cards. So we can grab ourselves that. Industrial Incisors. We do have an energy this time, so that's pretty good for us. We can place that down. Then what we can do is Klara here, grab ourselves 2 of these, and get ourselves set up for the future. So, bop, bop. Go ahead, slow acting. And if they don't retreat here, then obviously they get knocked out. If they do retreat here, then they're going to need a second double colorless onto one of the Lugias in order to attack us. And they're going to have to find a V-Star, so hopefully... Okay, so there's their V-Star. And there's the second double colorless energy. So they had kind of exactly what they were looking for. And they hit heads, so they would have found that anyway. But it's not too big a deal. Kangaskhan. That's pretty cool, I guess. Yeah, so definitely a little unlucky so far, but we're not in the worst position in the world. We can pull this back in. They actually, for some reason, chose not to retreat. I don't really agree with that. Unless they just made a simple mistake of not knowing that if you, like, knocking out the Pokemon doesn't stop the effect. That could have been potentially why they did what they just did. You know, can't really confirm or deny. I think what I want to do, though, is slap this down, Raihan, put the energy down, and set up for my next turn by grabbing the Roxanne. I just think that's, like, the best play to make. Because the chance that they, like, Iono me or something is pretty low. So I think I just play that game. So we'll slow acting. Mostly now, I mean, that was a huge mistake on their part to not do that. Or, you know, not to switch out. But one of the things that's pretty great in this situation is if they can't get into their Archeops, then, like, even if they retreat here, it doesn't really matter. There's nothing they can do to fight me back. And this is the biggest problem with Lugia V-Star. And it's why I haven't played the deck on the channel, because I overall don't really like the deck at all. It relies so heavily on being able to get your Archeops into the discard pile that if you can't do that, the deck literally doesn't work. And that's, like, a huge problem. I can kind of keep it this way. Honestly, I think what I do... Yeah, I think I just attack here. I could Roxanne, but that just gives them 2 new cards that could be better than the ones they have, because it seems like whatever they do have in their hand is pretty awful. I could boss this back up, but then, you know, I'm at risk of getting knocked out. So I think at this point I can Arven just to kind of thin my deck. And set up for the future. So I'll grab myself the Super Rod here. Super Rod, these back in. Gonna need those. and just attack. Yeah, they didn't really put themselves in a great position here. And, like, I think it was just, like, that simple mistake making a very large difference for a game like this. That being said, this is kind of a fault of Lugia V-Stars. Like, because they didn't get their Archeopsis, because they can't use their V-Star power to, like, really get things going, their deck doesn't do anything. And that's a huge problem. So really what we're going to do here is we're honestly just going to go ahead and Boss's orders up this, since there's no shot this is going anywhere without a switch. And I just don't believe that they top deck into one. So this should be the game. But even if they did retreat earlier, brought in their new Lugia, we weren't really in too much of a problem. Oh, really? They have Jet Energy that they drew into? Alright, cool. So, you know, same thing here. Doesn't really matter. We just go Grapploct here. We don't need the Crisis Punch or the Reversal Energy, so at this point, we Roxanne, get ourselves a whole new hand. We're really just looking for, like, a single energy. Somehow we didn't get it. We just got back everything we already had. That's pretty annoying. We'll get rid of this and the Arven, just to find ourselves the new Grap. We will place down the Grapploct, and we will draw ourselves 2 more cards, hopefully getting ourselves into an energy. We do. Perfect. We'll slow acting here. Again, just force them into, like, they can either attack us or retreat. If they retreat, this doesn't have enough energies to do anything. It now does, but they're going to have to hit at least 50% of their heads. And even if they knock us out, that also works fine for us. Doop. Oh, exactly 50%. Alright, so that knocks us out. But, you know, power of Crisis Punch and everything like that is going to come in super hype here. We didn't really need it, if we're being completely honest, because we could... pretty much what we could do from here anyway is that we could just drop the Reversal Energy and attack for 240, and that also works out great for us if we, like, you know, really wanted to do that. But why not just Crisis Punch and go for broke, knock it out, huge, big plays, and just abusing Lugia V. This game looks way closer than it was, but it wasn't really that close, if we're being honest. Definitely just some misplays by me at the beginning of the game that put us in a more precarious situation than we ever should have been in. And then our opponent not retreating and taking that knockout was also just a really bad choice by them. But I think they either didn't know that the attack worked like that, or just thought they'd be fine. I'm not really sure. I think that was just a misplay on their part. Realistically, they probably just didn't know. And then, had they retreated, came in and attacked us, it wouldn't actually have really benefited them. Because, yes, they'd be 1 prize card ahead in that situation. But we would have just made a new one, attacked, and then they were completely boned from that point going forward, because they wouldn't have had any of their V-Stars. They wouldn't have really had anything. So I don't think it makes that big of a difference, but I'd have to play it out from that point to, like, really know. But yeah, that's game 2. So we'll go into game 3 in just a moment, and I'll see you guys there. Peace. Alright, so we're into the next game. Hopefully final game. I recorded one right before this, and it was a super, super fun game. But turns out I wasn't actually recording the entire time. So that's pretty tragic. Sucks for sure. It was an extremely close game. Kind of really sad I lost the footage because it really came down to the wire. It was a really interesting Goldango deck. Had a ton of fun in that game too, but unfortunately didn't really work out. And by work out, I mean I'm an idiot and didn't hit record when I thought I did. So, you know, that happens. Looks like we're up against some sort of Lugia V, you know, box deck. Lugia being much more popular right now because of, you know, being the free deck, but, you know, not much we can do about that. Got the VIP, that's pretty good for us. Heavy ball, nothing of value there. We'll VIP here, grab ourselves Bidoof and our Tarountula. Place them down. We can Artazon here. Search ourselves out a new little Octo brother. Place that down. Place energy on that one because the one in the active is probably about to get knocked out. And hope we draw into something usable. Because right now we don't really have that. There's a lucky energy onto the Lugia V. Decidueye V-Star. I don't even know what this thing does. Once during your turn, you may draw 8 until you have 8 cards in your hand. You may discard 3 energies from this. Doesn't really seem good. So I think what I'll do is get knocked out by Leafeon V here, which is pretty unfortunate. Then we'll Ultra Ball. We'll Ultra Ball away the energy in the Octo. Grab ourselves Bibarel, sorry. Place that down. And then pray. I think is our play for right now. So we'll grab the benefits of the Artazon before we remove it. Ooh, actually. Place that down, because that's about to be pretty good for us. So we'll get rid of this and this. We could get rid of the Wasteland, but I think this is better. So Wasteland, Barrel. Get rid of the Crisis Punch for now, because that's not relevant until much later. Earthen Vessel. Okay. Not exactly what we're looking for, but can be useful. Some supporters. Not terrible. Do we want to Iono here? Our opponent hasn't done much, so that makes me not want to give them a new hand. I think we just Raihan here for... I don't know. I think we just Avery maybe. Alright, that worked out. Probably shouldn't have if we're honest. I don't know if that was the right play to make. I don't really think it was, if I'm being totally fair, but it's the play we made. So I think we leave Decidueye. Yeah, I think this is the play to make. Maybe, maybe not. Honestly, not totally sure. We'll slow acting here. Its chance of retreat is okay, but not super high. It could evolve. But you know, even if it does, it doesn't really do anything at the moment. And we want to get rid of this just to remove the V-Star as a threat. Because if it can get its engine going, then it's really, you know, destructive. But if it can't, then obviously, like we saw before, like this deck really, really suffers. And so far, it looks like we're in a really good place for that not to happen. I wish this card was better, because the art is so sick. Like, Giovanni's so cool. Like, just such a classic. But, like, that's just not good enough. It's just not good enough of a card. Like, putting the energy back into my hand, it's like, okay. Like, I guess if I needed 2 turns to get things going, then that could be really bad. Like, you know, I lose out on an energy placement for the turn. But that's so rare that that ever matters. Just because of, like, how fast all the acceleration of energy is in this game right now. Like, I just never really think that's super great. Alright, so, I mean, we'll put the energy back down. We can Iono here just to mess with them. Or we can just reshuffle our own hand. I think we just Iono to mess with them. Why not? There's nothing that you can really get that'll benefit them all that greatly right now. How many? Yeah, we have 2. So we can go ahead, drop these back into the deck. We'll keep the energy in there just so that way we can activate. That way we have the ability to activate Raihan if we need to. There's that Earthen Vessel again. Industrial Incisors for some more cards. There's that Raihan. And that's why we left the energy in there. Obviously, because Raihan will not work otherwise. It's pretty annoying that we actually haven't been able to find our Spidopses. So we're just relying on Wasteland right now to be annoying. And force them to have to discard the double colorless if they want to retreat. If they choose not to and attack us, though, like, again, we have Raihan, so we can just get right into our next one and start attacking. Obviously, trapping this Blissey is going to be relatively easy. And even if they retreat, they have nothing they can attack with. Going into this game after the one that I failed to record is so sad because this one's pretty boring. Another Giovanni's, that's so weird. Just because, like, Lugia sucks, dude. If I'm being completely honest, that's, like, such an underwhelming meta style deck. Like, there's a reason it fell to, like, top 8 when it used to be, like, number 1. The game's just kind of moved on past it. I don't think it's super good. And one of the biggest flaws of it is, like, it just needs such a gimmick and it's such a coin flip to go for, that, like, I don't even think it's worth it. I think the single strike, is it single strike? I'm pretty sure. The single strike version of the deck with, like, Tyranitar and stuff like that is so much stronger than, like, this random box style deck that I've seen people running, or, like, the just standard, like, normal type, like, normal energy style deck that everyone's running, because it's, you know, the Battle Pass deck. I just think, like, as a whole, it's just better to do the single strike deck. It just doesn't, you know, post rotation, you're not going to get anything. So it's like, that's why people don't want to invest into, like, building that deck, since it's pretty much on its way out. And I mean, there's still enough time. It's like a month or so you could still play it for a little while, but I definitely can see why people don't want to, you know, invest the resources, time, credits, like, everything like that into playing it, or, like, learning it, since the time that you'll have with it is going to be so limited. This has been a pretty kind of underwhelming game, if I'm being completely honest. Really, really sad I didn't get to record the other game. Just because Lugia sucks, dude. And it's sad that I have, you know, I have to play 2 Lugia games back to back. But it just is what it is. I'm running out of time to be able to record, and if I don't if I don't get this video out now, then it won't come out for like 4 more days. Just because everything's been so hectic and busy with life due to, you know, crazy workload, internship, and everything else. God, Giovanni's so cool. This is my favorite Boss's Orders art. I just don't own any on this account. And so I just won't spend the credits for, you know, these cards that I already have. You know, like I already have standard, they give them to you digital copies of the other random cards. So, like, it's fine. I don't need to spend extra credits for cards I already have. Plus, I try to make all the codes. Like, when I drop the deck lists in the descriptions, I try to... Oh, he does have a switch, so that's lame. Alright, whatever. I'll just boss his orders up the other one. It's like a Fairly Odd... Hey, that guy's stealing the car I'm stealing. He just stole my plan. I was going to boss. I mean, I'm going to do the same thing, but... he Fairly Odd parents me. But yeah, whenever I put the... For anyone who doesn't know or hasn't noticed, I put the deck list for everything in the description. We'll boss his orders this back up. And then we'll see if we can... I guess we couldn't Iono or anything like that anyway. But we'll see if we can draw it for next turn. Hey, look at that. Finally. Welcome to the party, buddy. A little late, but, you know, better late than never. We call that fashionably late in the industry. But what was I gonna say? But yeah, so I put the deck lists in the description of every video. And I try to make all the rarities as generic as possible, and you'll see me playing with all the generic versions of the cards. One, because I put no effort into getting high rarity, because I think it's an absolute trap. For anyone playing with, like... Seriously? Did you really just do that again? That's so lame. Just let me knock you out, dude. I don't even have my counter catchers available at this point. Alright, well, guess I'm looking for another boss. That's pretty lame. What do we want to do here? We'll level ball to get this out. We can... Earthen Vessel, get rid of Bidoof. Bop, bop. We'll attach the energy here. Then what we'll do... Yeah, I think it's worth just looking for the boss's orders and resetting that same play. Like, how many switch can he really have, you know what I mean? Alright, also I'm using this Earthen Vessel. I'm tired of drawing Earthen Vessels over and over every time I do this. We'll get rid of that. Thin our deck out a little bit. We'll Arven here for a Pal Pad and the Crisis Punch, just so we can utilize that later if we really want, I guess. And then really what we're gonna do is just shuffle back the boss and the Iono. And I mean, they'll probably just retreat, but if they choose not to, then yay. I guess. It's in a really awkward spot, I guess, at the moment. But what was I talking about? Oh yeah. It's kind of a trap. High rarity is an absolute trap for your wallet. If you're playing, you know, the tabletop, like TCG, like if you're playing in paper and going to locals and all that kind of stuff, which I highly recommend you do. It's a ton of fun and there's a great community out there. So definitely give it a chance if you never have. But really, the main thing that I would say is, like, if you have the extra money, or like you pull them out of packs or whatever the case may be, you know, that's awesome, phenomenal. Shout out to you. You know, more power to you. I hope that you enjoy it. But if that's not the case, and you are going, like, out of your way to buy everything in high rarity, if you have the money for it and you want to do that and stuff like that, like, more power to you. Enjoy it. Use your money the way you want to do it. All that kind of stuff. Like, shout out to you. Yada, yada, yada. But please don't feel pressured to do it. Or think for whatever reason that, like, that's what you're supposed to do, or that's what you have to do, in order to, you know, kind of play or like fit in. Because you'll see at locals tons of people, or at tournaments or whatever, like, people who all want to play with, like, high rarity and all that kind of stuff. That's cool. Let them do that. If that's how they enjoy the game as well, or that's their main hobby, so that's what they want to put money into, like, that's awesome. You know, don't hate or mess with anybody for it. But at the same time, if you don't have that kind of money or resources or whatever, you know, don't try to emulate it. Don't think you have to, or anything of that kind of variation, because it's really not necessary. And it's a huge waste of money. If you can get a card for, you know, $1 for, like, the common variant, there's no reason to spend $6 for the rare, or, you know, the full art, just to have it, because most of the time it doesn't matter. It's you know, a card that all does the same thing. Oh, we're just gonna keep looping this, aren't we? All right, cool. We're gonna speed this process up a little bit here. We'll grab this. Why not? We'll hold on to that. We'll nest. Bop. Draw myself some new cards. Bop. And cool. So we're set up for Crisis Punch if it comes down to it. We're just kind of sitting here. This game has taken way longer than it should have, because they're doing, like, a Blissey, you know, maxing out the energy loop situation. They're just going to keep doing it until we get to the point where we Crisis Punch, I guess. Is what it seems like it's going to come down to. Which is fine. You know, if that's the road that we're going to play, they're giving it their all, and I can respect that. Is there anything that we're doing that's going to, like, potentially mess us up? Not really. Yeah, I don't think we have another boss in the deck. Or another counter catcher. Oh, wait, we might have one. Yeah, we still have one. I mean, they really are just loading all their energy onto this. I guess I should have bossed up the other Blissey. I think that was the mistake I made. Which is on me, but I kind of just wasn't paying the most attention. I think what we'll do here is, again, we'll just search for our boss, I think, or, yeah. I think that's, like, the play to make. We didn't find it, and that actually kind of sucks. We'll get rid of this and this. Help thin our deck out a little bit. Place that down. The question is actually, do we want to switch? Actually, it shouldn't matter. Never mind. We'll slow acting here. Yeah, because it's not gonna matter. Because we can use the Crisis Punch and the Reversal Energy with like any card we have on their board right now. So if they attack us, we win. If they retreat out, they can attach to Blissey, attack us. We still live that, actually, I think. Yeah. Okay, so they just passed their turn, because they would have knocked us out, but then they would have lost anyway. Alright, so they were going to just keep retreat looping, but then it wouldn't have mattered. Eventually we get to a boss and trap, and win. Oh, never mind. Our boss wasn't our prize card, so that we would have had to wait until we got the Crisis Punch set up. So that was a little awkward. Definitely got a little weird and slow towards the end, but it is what it is. You just kind of got to work with what you got. But yeah, we weren't really at threat there. We just kind of made some wrong plays because we just kind of got a little bored, if I'm honest. But it is what it is. That's the game, guys. Definitely let me know what you think of the list and how you would play it and any changes that you would make. And yeah, definitely let me know what you want to see next. I'm working on a Brutal Bonnet and Raticate build that's been a ton of fun to play. So that video should be coming out soonish because somebody asked me about it in the comments. So make sure to let me know what you want to see next, whether it's posting a deck list or just kind of recommending something for me to kind of look into or build. But yeah, definitely like, comment, subscribe, all the YouTube stuff, and I'll see you guys in the next video.